Hello and welcome to the video lecture series brought to you by St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. My name is Ravinder. I am an assistant professor with the ETC department and we are discussing the subject called Programming for Problem Solving with C, that is PPS. And today we are going to see what do we understand by the conditional statements and what are the operators that we use to implement those conditional statements. Okay. Now, by conditional statement, I mean a statement which results in a condition or which signifies a condition. Now, if you say, okay, this is the condition, and if this condition satisfy, you have to do this. Now, this is how we talk in our general language. Suppose you want to go to Mumbai at this time, and but the condition is that if the lockdown is over, then you can go to Mumbai. Else, you cannot go to Mumbai. So, if else, so if I make you understand in Hindi, then it means कि अगर एक कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होती है तो आप इस काम को कर पाओगे, तो आप मुंबई जा पाओगे, नहीं तो आप नहीं जा पाओगे. Okay, so if else means if this is satisfied, then you have to do some task. If not satisfied, then any other task that has been mentioned in else you have to do. But what is the condition which specify if you have to do something in if or you have to do something in else? So your basic syntax would be something like, now if, let's say, some conditional statement, if some conditional statement, then block of code. Okay, let's say this and block of code. Okay, and then semicolon, obviously. Sorry. And if that is not, then else. Change settings have been changed. Yeah. Okay. So else some other block of code. Some other block of code. Okay. So let me do else, and this I will not be. So this is a dual topic. In this topic, I am going to teach you about the if-else, the conditional statements, and how we are going to write those conditional statements, and how if-else actually works. Okay, so as you can see, this is an if-else block. By the meaning of block of code, I mean some lines of code, whatever you want to do, and some other blocks of code which is not being written here, obviously. So this is like if this condition is satisfied, which will you write here, which you will see in a second. How can you write those conditions? Then you have to, then compiler will try to compile these lines of code or to run these lines of code and completely ignore these. It will ignore these. Okay. Now, if this condition is not satisfied, then it will go for these lines of code and completely ignore this block. This block. So at a time, either one of these block is going to run, not both at the same time. So if this condition is okay, if the lockdown is over, then you can go to Mumbai. Else means this condition is not satisfied. Okay, else go back to your home. Okay, I think you have. This is just like in your normal day-to-day language. You will say someone like, okay, if you make 6 runs out of on 6 balls, you are going to win the match. Else means you haven't made those 6 runs. Else you're going to lose the match. And that is the analogy you can say. So this is just an if else block. Let me again Please focus on the code here. With if, I have attached a conditional statement, but with else, I haven't attached any conditional statement. Else doesn't encloses a conditional statement, because else has a meaning everything which is not inside if. It means everything or every other possibility which is not inside if. So this is one possibility. If this possibility is right, you will execute this, or the compiler will execute this, and any other possibility which is not this possibility. Okay, if that possibility occurs, any other possibility occurs instead of this possibility, then you have to execute this, or this will be executed. This block of code will be executed. So that is why we don't have to add any conditional statement to the else block, because else means everything which is not this statement. Okay, so if lockdown is over, you can go to Mumbai. Else, if lockdown is extended, lockdown is minimized, lockdown is relaxed, or whatever be the case, you cannot go to Mumbai because flights will not be open by then. Okay, so I think you have understand the meaning of if else block. Now we will focus on writing this conditional statement, because what you are going to write inside this block is just easy. You have written it in the past. Okay, we'll see an example. But before writing a conditional statement, let me tell you, the result of this conditional statement will always be either true or false. Okay, so the conditional statements will result in either true or false. Okay, will either result in true or false. So either true or false. If the conditional statement results in true, if this is true, it means this block of code will be executed and this will be ignored completely. If the conditional statement results in false, it means this block of code will be ignored completely and this will be executed. That is simple. If true, then execute this. If false, move on to else. So this is how it is. If lockdown is over, if you can write if lockdown is over, then lockdown is equal to false. Lockdown over, then it is equal to true. Then we will execute this, and if not, that is equal to false. False, it means lockdown is not over, then we have to execute this block. And please remember, conditional statements always results in either true or false. There is no other solution to conditional statements. Please keep that thing in mind. Okay? Okay. So one way of writing a conditional statement is like, let's say we have a variable called int a is equal to, let's say, 10. And if I write now, if the value of a is greater than 5, then do something. Okay? Else, do something else. Okay? Now you know that the value of a is actually 10. So 10 is greater than, this is the symbol of greater than. I think you people are familiar with them now. These are relational operators. I will talk about them in a minute. 10 is greater than 5, yes. So answer is true. This conditional statement results in true. Okay. So if this is true, we will go inside this block, inside these curly braces, and we will ignore this else block. Compiler will ignore this else block. So what lines of code are written here are going to be executed, and what is written inside these braces in the else block will be completely ignored. The control will shift from this line to directly the line below the else block. Okay, keep that thing in mind. Either else will be executed, the block of code inside the else will be executed, depends on the conditional statements, or either if will be executed, depends on the conditional statement of the if statement. So this statement will decide either this block of code or this block of code will be executed. And this conditional statement always results in either true or false. Okay. So let us see how many operators do we have for writing these conditional statements. Now these are the relational and logical operators that we have, which are used to write the conditional statements. Okay. So few of them are pretty common by their view, like less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Okay, if a is less than 10, if a is less than equal to 10, if a is greater than 10, if a is greater than equal to 10, and this is your equality operator. Let me remind you, a single sign actually is an assignment operator. We have talked about it, but this double sign is actually a comparison operator, equality operator. So expression 1 is equal to expression 2. This is what it means. If it is equal to this, then it will provide you with the value of true. If it is not equal to this, that is expression 1 here and expression 2 here, not equal to each other, then the value that is being returned, or this conditional statement will return in false. Okay. So expression 1 means a, that is a is equal to 10. Yes, it is. The conditional statement will result in true. Otherwise, it will result in false. So this is how your relational operators will be used. I think you people are familiar with these relational operators. You have used it in the past in your mathematics also. These are pretty simple. No need to explain. Now the next one, the last. No, let's say this one. Let's go to this one. Not. Let's move on to the next slide first. Yeah. Now we have three logical operators also, called AND, OR, and NOT. Now this operator returns the Boolean value true if both operands are true and returns false otherwise. So what it's trying to say is, if X is AND operator, the name is AND by the way, and double ampersand will be used. X is the value, let's say for example, X has a value of 6 and Y has a value of 3. And this is one expression and this one is other expression, and we have applied AND operator in between them. So AND will be the operator, these two expressions will be operands. So X is a value, have X less than 10. Yes, the value of X is actually 6. So this condition, this expression results in true. And Y greater than 1, Y has a value of 3, it is greater than 1. So this will also result in true. So both of them results in true. So true and true will return in true. And if any one of them is false or both of them is false, it will return as false. Okay. So again, the Boolean value true, the operator return Boolean value true only if both are true at a same time, and return false otherwise. Otherwise means if any one of them is false or both of them is false. Like in this case, if the value of X is let's say 12, then X less than 10 is false actually, because the value of X is 12. Then this is false, this is true. Now both of them are not true at one time. So in that case, the AND operator will return false. Okay. So this is how your AND operator operates. AND means ये भी होना चाहिए, ये भी होना चाहिए, तभी हाँ होगी, नहीं तो हाँ नहीं होगी. Okay. Now OR operator. OR operator means either this satisfies equal to true or that satisfy equal to true. If any one of them satisfy equal to true, then that is sufficient. I will return true. Okay. Like in this example, wait a minute. X has a value of 6 and Y has a value of 3. Now first let's see the definition. Now this OR, the name is this and symbol is this. Don't forget the symbol. In C, we are not going to use the name. We are going to use the symbol itself. Okay. Now this operator returns the Boolean value true if either or both operands is true and return false otherwise. In the AND, both operands must be true, but in this case, either one of them or both of them could be true. So only case when it is going to return false will be when both the operands will be false. Okay, like in this case, x has a value of 6, y has a value of 3. Now what is done is, this is one expression, x equal to 5, and this is next expression, x equal to y equal to 5. Now we'll see x equal to 5, x value as a 6. Now 6 is equal to 5, this will return false because 6 is not equal to false. So what is written here? False. Now y equal to or y, the equality of y with 5 is will also return in false because y has a value of 3. So this will also become false. Now false and false. In this case, the OR will return false. But if any one of them is true, let's say x has a value of 5, then 5 is equal to 5, this will be true, and this will remain false. In that case, it will return true actually. So either this is true, this is false, or this is true, this is false, or both of them are true, then OR is going to return true. Otherwise, there's only one condition: when this is false, this is also false, like in this case here that has been written here, OR will return false. So OR will return false only in one case, when both the expression will be false. While in AND, it will return true only in one case, when both the expressions are true. If either one of them is false or both of them are false, it is going to return false. Okay. The last one is your not. Okay. Not is just if it is written true inside, it's going to reverse that. It will return it as false. So look at here. There is an expression here. Okay, x, whether x is equal to y or not. It is testing the value of x and y. Now x has a value of 6, y has a value of 3. Now 6 is not equal to 3, so this expression must become false. But not of false, we have applied the not operator, means it's going to reverse the value. Now trues, the reverse value of true is actually false, and reverse value of false is actually true. Okay, so in this condition, this expression will result in actually false. But because not operator is applied, so not of false is actually true. So this expression will be this complete expression will result in true actually. So I think you people have got the point what I am trying to say here. Okay, we are done with it. So let's see one very small application what I am trying to say here inside the IDE itself. And I think then it will be more. So let's start with a very basic one. Let's say we have an int a that has a value of 10 and int b that has value of 5, and let's start with if else block now. Okay, now this is, please be focused on how I'm going to write. Let's first tell you what would be the basic. So what would be the block of if will be written here, and this, and not this, and else, and it will also have a block. Okay. Okay, and okay. I don't think it will come. Okay, we'll see in the debugging if it will come. So this is how it is. If the condition satisfy, do this, else do this, and that is it. Let's go move ahead. First write the condition. Let's say first expression 1, the value of a is greater than 10. And then AND operator, remember the symbol, and the value of B is less than 9. Okay, now see, AND will result in true, or it will return true only if this expression is true and this expression is true. Now see, A is greater than 10, true or false? It is true. It is false actually. Let's not write it as 10, let's write it as 9 in this case. 9. Okay. Now A is greater than 9. Yes, true. Because the value of A is actually 10. And B has a value less than 9. That is also true. Because B has a value of 5. So true and true. In that case only the AND will result in true. So this complete conditional statements is actually true. In that case, we are inside the if block. The lines written inside the if block will be executed and this complete block will be ignored. Okay, so let's just write printf here. So printf, we are inside if block, and in the else we'll write the same thing. Printf, we are inside else block. So let's see what happens. Let's first save it. Let's try to run this. Let's see if we have, okay, we have one more. We are inside if block. Why? I have just told you the value of A is greater than 9, true. The value of B is less than 9, that is also true. And for AND operator, if both of them are true, then the conditional statement will result in true. Okay, so this is how you write conditional statements and this is how you use a if-else block. Now when this condition is true, the compiler has completely ignored the else block because either one of them will be executed, not both of them at the same time. Okay, and if this condition is false, then this complete block will be ignored and this will be executed. So either we are inside the if or we are inside the else and not both at the same time. So let's write the first. Now tell me what would the result, think what would the result of this expression. A has a value greater than 10. Now A has a value of 10, but I have written greater than 10, not greater than equal to. It means if A has a value of 11, then this would be untrue. But now A has a value of 10 and 10 is not actually greater than 10. So this will result in false and this will result in true. But a false and a true will not result in true in the case of AND operator, because AND operator operates on the principle that both of the expressions or operands must result in true, only then the complete expression will result in true. Now this expression is now results in false because this one is false, this one is true. So let's try to see if we are right or not. And we are inside the else block now because the condition is false here. What if I use the OR operator? This is your OR operator, remember that? In OR operator, the condition is if either one of them is true, and that is sufficient. If either one of them is true or both of them is true, then this expression will result in true. But if both of them are false, then it will result in false. So let's again do this. Let's see what happened this time. We are inside the if block because this expression is false, but this one is still true. Okay, now true and false. In the OR, for the expression to be completely true, the condition is either one of these operands, that is this one or this one, must be true. Either one of them or both of them. Okay, at this time this one is true, this one is false. So that is it. That is the your conditional statements. And tomorrow we are going to see a more complex operations of if else and multiple if else if else if else if and else block. We haven't discussed about, we haven't focused on the if else until now. We are more focused on conditional statements in this statement. Okay, so we'll focus more on if else in the next lecture. Okay. Thank you.